Alright boys, welcome back to another video. So today we have the roadmap roundup. Usually I don't cover these, but 3.23 is to be an important patch, and 2024 I think we're going to see a lot of progress with Star Citizen. It's worth mentioning too, in the last ISC of 2023, Jared made some big claims that 2024 is going to be the year for the development of Star Citizen. And to agree with what they've already casually spoken about so far coming in 3.23, this is going to massively reshape the game. And I think we're starting to see the curve of that hockey stick. 7 o'clock in the morning, so usually I don't like to be recording this early, but this could be an important one. So let's dig in. I've got the release view here, and I've got the roundup, so we'll start with the roundup. Alright, so typical intro. Release view. Replication layer update. Testing continues for this important update to the persistent universe's backend database. This release will remain fluid in regards to timing as edge cases are solved and performance is optimized. This published, we're moving this card to the Alpha 3.23 column, but keep an eye on Spectrum and the tech preview channel for the latest on the replication layer. Okay, they're coming out swinging. Wow. First major patch of 2024, and we're at the replication layer. What do we think's going to come from this? Better performance? Better frames? Maybe when we interact with the database, like sorting inventories, changing ship components, we can't expect the wealth of issues there and the huge delays. A smoother experience, better performance in the PU. Is this going to bring down server frame rates now that the database is, the load is separated and not running on the same server? Wow, this is huge. Oh man, I keep thinking of the scene in The Office. It's happening. Everybody stay calm. Arena Cometa Gravlev Racing, introducing a new experimental mode to Arena feature. Arena Cometa featuring Gravlev vehicles racing through 5 new maps. Cool. That'll be some quirky, fun gameplay. I think I remember being in a call with Captain Burks, and he was saying that the Gravlev gameplay actually works really well. So that might be a fun little neat addition to Arena Commander, but you also need to bring back Battle Royale, please. Yeah, the following cards have been added to the release view in the 3.23 patch cycle, currently targeting the April 2024 release. Okay, so April 2024, we can expect a star map rework, implementing the news and improved star map with improved visuals and usability, including easier search and trip planning functionality. Okay, massive quality of life there. Even yesterday, I was trying to get to a group of mine under pressure, and navigating through the star map was hell as always. A welcome change. Gosh, I remember, discussing this with friends 4 years ago about how much of a nightmare it was to navigate this thing. And yeah, a very welcome quality of life fix. That's huge. Move on. Mobiglass rework. Reworking the Mobiglass system to use building blocks, which will also allow for easier development of the Mobiglass apps. This update includes reworked home, maps, contract manager, and journal apps. Okay. Again, a nice quality of life rework. Very good. Much needed, much appreciated. FPS map system, implementing a mini-map for the HUD as well as interior maps for FPS gameplay, helping players stay oriented in close quarter encounters. Concerning, I have massive concerns about this. The more UI you throw into an FPS style game, or FPS objectives, etc., I think it kills a lot of the immersion and a lot of the variation to the encounters. What is hiding and setting up a trap going to look like now with this mechanic? Is armor types going to impact your stealth detection? Like, is it heavy armor players that are going to show up on the FPS map radar? etc.? Or are we just talking interiors? I like the idea of it strictly being interiors and maybe the heavier armor displays on the radar, and then you go light armor or stealth armor of some sort. Maybe you don't. But if this is just binary, everybody's on the radar, you see the entire interior, etc., then I would have concerns in that aspect. But I think this is a really important mechanic, and I've mixed feelings about it. I like the interior idea, but you start giving off player information, then I'm a little concerned. But let's see. Let's just see how it plans out. But that's huge. So that revolutionizes FPS right there. Boys, crazy. Like, it's a bunch of pirates sitting in brios inside the building trying to grab you or snatch you while you sell. Is that now obvious? Interesting. I've not done enough research there, but I have been concerned at face value for sure. Wow. So FPS revolutionized. All right, next. Personal and instance hangars. Oh boy. Creating new tech that creates an instance of the player's hangar to allow for uninterrupted management of cargo, inventory, and vehicles. Personal hangars are found at the player's home location and allow for customization and organization of the hangar interior. Okay. Freight elevators. Implementation of systems and content for players to physically load and unload cargo to and from their ships by conveying cargo to and from hangars. Landing pads, garages, and docking collars. This is all slated for 323? Holy smokes. It's going to be in PTU forever. Like, well, they're aiming for April. Wow. Like, the game's not going to be recognizable. We haven't even gotten to master modes. Man. This is without a doubt the most important patch they've ever released. Like, this is it. Nothing's coming close to this. Like, they have dropped entire planets with cities. Doesn't even scratch this. And we're halfway down the page. Wow. 2024, boys. Holy. Wow, what do you guys think? Crazy. Okay, next. Item bank and unique item recovery. Added item bank kiosks to the persistent universe. Oh, please don't. Allowing players to retrieve and store FPS items at multiple locations. This addition will also allow players to retrieve lost account-bound items such as subscriber flare. Oh, like... I hate the cushion gameplay of this. They better at least have to buy this back. If you go out and lose your subscriber armor that you paid for or whatever, okay. But I would want that to be a UEC sync. If they are just retrieving this, lost and found, ooh, magically it's back, dorky. Like, but if you're having to buy your kit back, okay, I'll settle. I'd shake hands on that. But this needs to tie into the UEC economy. Otherwise, it is just more bullshit. And I get it. Like, people don't want to just lose their stuff forever. But it needs to tie into the economy. Okay? Like, death needs to mean something. Losing needs to mean something. When you lose in Star Citizen, it has to suck. Because that's what makes winning worthwhile and feel great. Alright? That's the problem. Winning sucks when losing doesn't, you don't care about it. You know, like when you die, you reclaim your ship a minute later, you buy an FPS kit for 40k, whatever, you don't care. You've got millions and millions. You claim your ship, you call it out, you're back out there, you maybe had to repair, refuel, you don't care about the prices, you didn't even notice it. Again, ties into the economy, a big impactor right there. Have to see how it pans out, but a little bit of concern there. I don't like this constant cushion gameplay to protect the subscriber flare NFTs. Concerning. But again, new missions, cargo hauling. Making use of freight elevators feature, the mission type will have players hauling large quantities of cargo to earn both UEC and reputation. Okay. Interesting. Cargo hauling missions. Hopefully they're not too dynamic, or maybe there's an extremely meta route, because that's the problem with cargo hauling is if all the routes and all the locations are very static with one another, then how does a pirate go fishing? Why would a hauler ever need security? Where does the hauler start gambling? Stuff like that. So maybe a meta will develop from that, but that's huge. We like to see anything in game related with hauling, because hauling, as we've mentioned in the past in one of my recent reacts, it's the bloodline, the lifeblood of Star Citizen, in my opinion. It is what is going to bring the economy, combat, piracy, security, the law system, all of that together. So, big fan of hauling updates, and I think it needs a lot more attention. A lot of potential there. The dynamic crosshair. So they were discussing this on my org Discord today, but the combat helmets now support the dynamic crosshair, which allows for quicker target acquisition in close quarter situations. Yeah, interesting. I wouldn't mind if these combat helmets were kind of exclusive or rare. Like maybe you got this feature if you had an upgraded helmet that you spent a lot of UEC on, something like that. But yeah, cool. Okay. I wonder if does that mean if you don't have the helmet on, you don't get the dynamic crosshair? And if so, a cool upgrade. I actually think that's nice. It could make things interesting with helmets. Maybe helmets become extremely important. Perhaps your kit is designed, or you're outfitting yourself based around the helmet for the advantages you get. So, interesting. The dynamic crosshair, which I believe is like the bouncing wherever your rifle barrel or gun barrel is aimed at, and it's parallel with that, is my understanding of it. But interesting. I haven't really gotten an opinion of that because I need to see what it feels like before I would make any decision there. EVA Tier 2. Improved EVA controls and animations for smoother transversal in 0G. Later iterations will introduce the limited EVA fuel and encourage the use of 0G push-pull and the multi-tools tractor beam. Yeah, huge. We saw that in ISC last week. Extremely immersive. We like that. FPS loot screen. My gosh. Introducing a new screen for the looting critical items quickly, allowing for more reliable inventory management in tense situations. Yeah. I actually kind of wasn't a big fan of the inventory management that I saw at CitizenCon, but I'd be very welcome of some quality of life changes there. At the end of the day, I'd rather something that feels better and performs better than what we have in live, that's for sure. But this is huge, man. New character customizer, implementing an overall of the player character creator of Star Citizen, including a new user interface and additional customization options. Cool, dig it. Not that invested in that, but cool. I know those guys work hard. Visor and lens HUD rework. Okay, converting the visor and lens system to building blocks for improved performance and flexibility. Okay, so we can look forward to more frames there, most likely. Sure. Distribution centers. Okay, boys. So let's talk about distribution centers. You might be thinking to yourself, what's Virgil most looking forward to? It's master modes, right? I am 50-50 on master modes and distribution centers. Gigantic underground mega structures. And all I can think of is Escape from Tarkov, like Labs Raid. Difficult UI, tons of loot, like maybe key cards to access like high loot rooms. The idea that you need to extract out of there, right? Like you go down 4 or 5 levels, you've gotten all the gear, your friends are dripping in loot. You need to get it out. Now you got to extract. Now you got to think of how you're going to get out of there. Is the sky clear? Do you have a pickup? Do you have crime stat? Bounties? Did you get a bounty from going underneath there? Were there other players? Are you being camped outside? This is huge. And the problem is because FPS don't have like their own stomping grounds. The biggest FPS gameplay area in Star Citizen is Jump Town. I'm going to go on a rant here. But it's a tiny little shed where they make drugs. There's 3 rooms. It's like, where does the FPS PvP get to happen? Where's the FPS gameplay get to happen? It gets to happen in distribution centers. So, what does the distribution centers need to be? It needs to be popular. Okay, meaning it needs to have a lot of players there. There needs to be a lot of reasons to go there, to converge there. Multiple missions, multiple reasons, bounty hunters, criminal elements, looting. The loot needs to be worth it. The UEC to go down there needs to be worth it. And people need to understand the risk of going down there. But this is huge, man. It'd be so much fun if they do it right. But it has to be worthwhile. Look at Ghost Hollow. I love Ghost Hollow for what it is, but it's no longer meta. No one goes there. It's a ghost town now. Because why would you go and try earn UEC there, besides the PvP against people that are going there? But there's no advantage to it. It's not meta. The UEC isn't worth going there. So it doesn't justify the time spent, and I have concerns that hopefully the distribution centers don't go that way, but man, this is going to be huge. So it's like, it's just the surface levels, it looks like, and the underground areas, like maybe they're only going to have 1 underground level, 2. Because I think I remember seeing in the Twitch chat I saw to Mike that Rich Tyra was saying that the deeper levels won't be in it. But again, I am very much looking forward to how they handle the UGFs. And excited for FPS players. The dynamic event, Blockade Runner. Introducing a new dynamic event that involves a criminal faction Ninetales locking down an LEO and L1, L2 rest stops. Players must run the blockade and purchase and sell a percentage of Quantanium before time runs out. Okay, so Ninetales event is back and some changes. Also, how this plays into Masterminds will be significant. That's really important. Interesting. I'd say out of all the events, the Ninetales lockdowns was probably my least favorite. I think it's safe to say the community's least favorite too. So interesting to see what they do there. Interested to see how this plans out with Masterminds. It could turn into a complete bloodbath. So interesting. Reputation hostility. Okay. Adding a new feature to the reputation system where players will encounter AI that are either friendly or hostile based on the reputation with the organization the AI belonged to. This also includes different friendly fire thresholds and defense responses. Okay. So, interesting. Okay, fair enough. So they're going to spawn AI on players based off of reputation. Okay. Hopefully it's not too intrusive. Like, I get it if you're flying near stations. I don't even go to stations anymore, and I used to. For anyone who's been a long-time supporter or viewer, but I don't even go to stations anymore. But if we're just talking about like dropping cutlasses, pirate cutlasses, or Crusader police everywhere you go, then it's just kind of dorky. I think it would feel kind of like when NPCs were constantly interdicting you everywhere you went to. It was just like, it felt forced. It kind of broke immersion, if anything. So we'll see how that's handled. But could be interesting, could not. All right, next up, player interaction experience. Oh, thank God. Implementing the updated player interaction experience. A holistic array of complementary features and systems, all related directly to the player. Player status, item status, environment status, as well as interactions with both the game world and the objects within it are covered under these systems. Okay, huge quality of life, massive there. I'd probably put that second most important in comparison to navigation on the mobiGlas, but huge, 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 huge. Master modes. There it is, boys. Implementing a new mode to vehicles to manage their speed, components, and role-specific functions. This release introduces the nav and SCM modes, as well as a complete retuning of all ships. Oh boy, are we ready for it? Are we ready for it? That is... Master modes is going to revolutionize combat in Star Citizen. It looks like in 323, all forms of combat is getting revolutionized. So this is just huge. And you're going to have a good idea of how Squadron 42 plays with this. So, wow. Okay, so let's just go through this. Tentative distribution centers. We got high hopes for this, boys. Extremely high hopes. Visors, personal instant hangars. I did not think this was coming anytime soon. mobiGlas, rework, FPS loot screen. See, there's an image of it there. It actually doesn't look that bad. The FPS map system looks incredible, but we just are worried about giving off free intel on players, etc. Cargo hauling, anything is good as long as they know what they're doing with it and the importance of it. They need to realize that hauling is the end-all, be-all of Star Citizen. Everything is tied into hauling. I hope they realize that soon. Blockade Runner event, the PIE, the player interaction experience, great. EVA, immersive as hell. Reputation hostility, interesting. Star map rework, oh, it looks good. I'm just now starting to remember what it looked like at SitCon. Awesome. Item bank and unique, item recovery. Cushion gameplay, concerning. We don't like cushion gameplay. We do not. Freight elevators, awesome. Master modes, insanity. Dynamic crosshair, replication layer update. All right, boys, it's happening. Everybody start panicking because we're at the curve in the hockey stick, and this is huge. That is going to be in PTU for a while. Boy, oh boy. Okay, boys, I had fun. This is crazy. I'm going to go stare at a wall for the next 10 minutes and a lot to bring up at the next org meeting, I guess. Wow. Huge. Alrighty. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, yeah? I've been slamming videos out lately. Wow. So many. Okay. GG's. I'll catch you guys next time. Let me know what you think in the comments, yeah? Let me know.